Number 2 and Associates.
So the reason I put this on there, you know, we contract with CMI to go out and maintain all our traffic signals, and then they come back with different repairs that should be done. On these repairs are listed things like trimming trees and trimming bushes, which we can do. So I don't want the board to go ahead and sign all of these when there's work on those that they can do, and that's why I have, as deemed necessary, work by the roadmaster. And, you know, we'll get with John Ship on that as well to see what he thinks we can do.
Okay.
All right.
Somebody make a motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no.
They're all different.
They're
It's
different,
10 different estimates for different traffic signals of repairs
We
that.
have a total.
Well, yeah, we have a total, but we're not going to, we're not going to use each line item on that.
The total was $7,903, including
Right.
trimming trees and stuff like that.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
Right.
then the next one is a motion to approve the 2021 traffic signal preventing maintenance proposal submitted by CMI, which is an amount of $2,895.
And that's the same as last year.
That's the same as last year, so I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Any comments or questions? Sorry. I didn't-
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
And that one is for the 11 locations.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's 11 locations.
Okay, every year, East Cocalico Lions Club would like to request permission to conduct their annual toll road fundraiser Friday, November 27th, 2020, from 7 to 5 p.m. The intersection of Church Street and Reamstown Road. Throughout the day, there will be complete adult supervision. Reflective vests will be worn. The fundraiser will be done rain or shine. Last year, usually they make around $3,000. I think last year they gave it to the Park Fund, I believe, or something like that. I forget what they do. So it's an annual affair, and they asked permission to do it. So,
Yes, absolutely.
okay, you're making a motion to give them permission to do
I'll
it.
make that motion.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, the Martin text amendment. The motion is to forward the petition for the text amendment submitted by Jordan and Rachel Martin onto both the East Cocalico Township and the Lancaster County Planning Commission for the review and comments.
That's the motion.
That's the motion. What's the wish of
I
the
think
board?
we have some comments from the audience on this.
Yes, we do. My name's John Mattiak. I'm an attorney with Brubaker, Conniton, Goff, and Lucarelli. I'm here tonight with Ron Good. We oppose the consideration of this petition and the ordinance. We'd ask that the supervisors reject it. I think the petition reveals that it's a much more intensive commercial use than really anticipated by the farm occupation concept. At 5 by 10, the storage units, if it is limited to 4,000 square feet as prior to the ordinance, although there's 13,000 square feet of buildings, if it's limited to 4,000 square feet, you're looking between 60 and 70, upwards of 80 units that can be in there. Based on Mr. Good's experience at Locker Room, roughly anywhere between 5 and 10% of those units are accessed on a daily basis. So that's, not the 3 and 4 trips per month as stated in the petition. That's more like 3 to 6 a day. And we think that's a much more intensive use. And frankly, in my opinion, the reason farm occupations were left out of the commercial zone on farms is because they attract heavy commercial uses. And there will be a tendency to use that farm occupation to get a shadow commercial use in there. And I think that's why it wasn't permitted from the beginning. And I think you should keep that up. Alternatively, I mean, I suppose if they want to downzone the property to ag, that's another way to go about this. I have a tendency to doubt that the Martins would want to do that, but
Well, the board did say that they would entertain this text amendment some time ago, and that's why their attorney has drafted this. So that was to entertain amendment to the ordinance to allow farm occupations by special exception when farms located in the general commercial zone in the conservation zone. So this would simply, you would just be forwarding on this on to both planning commissions at this point in time for their comment and review. So,
I guess I'll comment on this, similar to what we had talked about previously. We had, through multiple supervisor meetings, we had discussed this from different angles. The way that I look at it personally, part of this farm is zoned ag. And with that being said, it is similar to what other ag uses are in township with that limited square footage. Now, I'll address your point about the number of lockers there. This will have to go through zoning hearing board if they make an application for this, which it appears like they will. But it's up to the zoning hearing board to address the traffic and the sizes and make it a decision accordingly. So, I think those concerns of yours could be addressed at that time.
I guess part of the reason why we're here is, it is my understanding that this is of one, maybe two farms that are situated like this. So rather than go to the zoning hearing board and wait for that, we're asking you folks right now to stop it at its tracks. And if you move it forward, we'll be back again to ask you not to adopt the ordinance. We just don't think it makes sense because it is going to allow this shadow commercial development within the commercial zone, but without going through any of the commercial process. It's going to be judged as an ag property, whereas Cocalico Creek Road, I drove that just this afternoon when I came up here. It's in pretty rough shape. And any additional traffic is going to be part of it. And it's going to be hard for people to navigate it. It's not an easy turn to make left coming south. That's for sure. Additionally, we have concerns about the safety issues. We know the floodplain is right there. We don't know what buildings they're going to use. Obviously, that will come out in the zoning matter. But additionally, those buildings are packed in very tightly. And I know for a mini storage, you have to have 30 feet between the buildings. I don't think that's there. And that's another concern that we have.
There again, I think the zoning hearing board can deal with all of that. I think there is value in having a farm property on that part of the township there. I think part of our thought process was, and I don't mean to speak for my other board members, was that having something like that does still have value in the township. It is being run as a farm. There's no question there. With pick your own produce, that kind of thing. And I'd like to see that continue. And if it's a small amount of additional income, it's consistent with many other properties in the township in that respect.
Yes, except that this one is going to be near the high traffic of 272, and is going to take advantage of that, and that's why it's been zoned commercial, so that things like Church Street, I know it's probably nowhere near there, but so that traffic issues can be addressed.
Well,
And other impacts of the commercial development in the commercial zone.
Just for your information, I was on the zoning hearing board for a lot of years, and similar situations like this came up, with different details, but there's was times when there was a lot of conditions put on an application like that, addressing traffic and other issues.
So, and we hope that would be the case if you would choose to adopt it, but again, since it is such a narrow band of farms that we're talking about, one, maybe two, we're asking you to head that off right at the pass and not even put it in the hands of the zoning hearing board.
Okay. Well, I, from my perspective, we looked at that over several meetings and, you know, I'm prepared to move forward with it.
We'll just negotiate.
Again, I'm prepared to do that. Let planning take, let zoning take a look at it, let planning take a look at it, because they would be able to address a lot of those issues. Even the feasibility of whether that can be done overall.
And that's what it's planning commission, that's ours and the counties.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, then the motion be to forward the petition to the text amendment submitted by Jordan and Rachel Martin under both East Cocalico Township and Lake County Planning Commissions for the review and comments.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you. Police Department, Chief.
Evening.
Evening.
Two things, real quick. I forgot to mention at the last board meeting, but the department is participating once again, as you can probably tell a little bit, on the Beards for Brothers. So if the officers donate money to this cause, all that money that's raised throughout the county is given to a first responder, family member, whomever might be dealing with cancer, and to cancer-related charities. So once again, our officers are doing that. So if you see our officers in the near future, a lot of them have beards, so that's a change for us for the month of November. And we'll decide whether if they donate a little more, they'll go in December, but we'll figure that out. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is received delivery of the body cameras and the new MVRs. They're all in my office right now. Next week is the training. Hopefully there, or soon thereafter, is the implementation. They are a GTAC body cam, so that's the size of the body cam. It's going to be worn by every officer. And basically what, how it's going to be worn is that slides onto the back, and then this metal plate goes into their shirt, and it's a very strong magnet. So, and it will attach to their uniform just like that. When they come back to the office, it'll automatically upload, or when they put it in the charger, so they will, that's how strong the magnet is. So that, it's a good thing, so they won't be losing it. So they'll pull the body cam off, and then they'll have to deal with taking the magnet off. But it is, you can tell, it's a strong magnet, so we shouldn't be losing anything anytime soon. But that's how it's going to work, but that's how small and how good the technology is now.
And it all goes to the cloud.
Yes, and you know, there's an on-off switch. It talks to you, basically saying, you know, recording on, recording off, mute on, mute off. This little wheel thing on the side is for different categories. So if an officer makes a traffic stop and they push the stop button on recording, it'll ask for a category. They move the wheel to traffic stop, push the button again. It categorizes it for when they go back to the station to look for that traffic stop, say it was a DUI stop or something like that, where they can pull it off much easier. So we're moving on, hopefully soon.
Do those run the whole time that, or do you turn them on and off?
They will turn them on and off. They will be activated by certain things. When the lights are turned on, they're automatically going to come on. Still trying to figure out if it's going to be when they get out of the car. One of our officers that came from another department, a bigger department that had body cams, said when he first got here, he would have to, or he would find himself when he got out of the car reaching up and going like that to turn his body cam on. So it became a habit for him. So that's what it's eventually going to become for us. It's going to be the same way as an officer getting out of the car. It's complete habit. You don't even know you're doing it to turn your portable radio on. So it'll eventually go like that, but they are very, we turned them on the other day and we're testing them a little bit, and it's foolproof for the most part. So And I think it's 11 hours of recording at a certain resolution, but the officers are gonna be back at the station at some point, so it'll upload, so we should never have a problem with that.
What's the charge time on those, rough?
I'm not exactly sure on it, but that's why we got the magnetic, I should have brought that up, but the magnetic charger that's gonna go on the bottom here, connected to the, into the car, so it charges and then it just breaks away. So they should never run out of charge, that machine. So moving forward. That's all I have.
Any questions of Chief? Chief?
Is there insurance on those?
We have a 5-year warranty on it.
Good.
So, and they're gonna get dropped, they're gonna be like that, and they demonstrated it for me, and explained that, you know, with the 5-year warranty, we should be okay.
Good, good.
And then we might see, I know Judy and I were talking, she's been talking with the insurance company to see if there's any kind of reduction,
Yeah,
liability.
Yeah.
liability insurance wise, so we're working on that.
Good.
I'm not sure when we'll figure that out, but
And have those been added to our equipment inventory for insurance purposes?
they're in the process.
Okay.
Any other questions of the Chief?
Yeah, you can't get them in use quick enough.
No.
Once again, in Philadelphia, man, that just,
Yep.
having an officer with them just makes everything, brings a lot more clarity to what's going on.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be a good thing.
They're a great idea.
And I'm glad the technology's that far ahead now.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
Tony, zoning officer.
Yes, good evening, everybody. As usual, I'll have a full report at the next meeting, but I do have a couple of items that I wanted to clarify. Ms. Kidbeck asked me a question about the property on the corner of
I was
897.
gonna thank you for getting that taken care
270.
of.
Well, it took a while, but we got a hold of it.
Yep,
But
we
yeah, they
did.
did cut it just this week.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, there was a serious site distance problem there. Now, Ms. Kidbeck mentioned it, so we got that taken care of.
Thank you.
One other thing I wanted to mention, was brought to my attention earlier in the week, late last week. There was an LNP article concerning a property owner in Brecknock Township that had a dog kennel business, or has had a dog kennel in operation for many years, and had been cited numerous times by the state agencies and all that. But in the article, it printed that they were in East Cocalico Township. I don't usually miss much, something of that magnitude, I would be very embarrassed if I missed it, but the gentleman does have a residence here in the township. He lives up on Lawrence Hill Road. Just recently bought that as of May or April of this past year. But the property that had the dog kennels was over in Brecknock Township. So, just wanted to get it on the record and clarify that it was not operating in our township in any way, shape, or form.
And the county, either through the ASPCA or some agency, some of our officers assisted in making sure of that,
Okay,
and they found no evidence of it.
thank you.
Good, thank you. Because we don't want any.
I know several of the residents of where this gentleman does live, up on Lawrence Hill Road, and believe me, I think if there were kennel operations up there, I would have known about it a long time ago.
Good.
And that's all I got.
Okay. Any questions of Tony? Okay, thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
Roadmaster and the financial administrator will do reports next meeting. Treasurer's report.
Okay, in the general fund, we have $194,196.50. We have a hydrant fund of $15,435. And we have a rec fund of $50. Any questions?
Yeah, I just have one.
Go ahead.
Becker Engineering, that 37,000, how much of that is? I mean,
A lot of that was billed out.
that's what I was.
A lot of it was passed through.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Well, yeah.
Filled out to developers.
There's quite a few projects in the works and, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And that covered, I think, multiple months. That wasn't just 1 month.
All right.
They don't always get their bills out every month.
If I may add to that, for Doug's knowledge, Judy and myself have been working pretty closely to make sure the right things, or at least these things do get filled out. And there was quite a few.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? June?
The 54,000 for Jonathan Zinsnick,
That was a return of security deposit. He had made a cash deposit for the township for stormwater, and it was approved that everything was completed, so we gave him back his money.
Oh, okay, good. And the 13,000 for Vantage Property
Those are
Solutions?
the lawnmower guys.
Oh,
And once again, they don't send a bill every month. I think this was like a 3-month period here. They get way behind on their billing. I think this was recently, wasn't it just like June, July, August?
Yeah, something like that.
So we haven't even gotten a bill for September yet from them, so
We had a bill we got after the beginning of the year for last year.
oh, right.
they are way behind.
Yeah, they're way behind.
They have too much money.
Something.
I don't know.
Do they cut the grass where he just planted all those wildflowers? Do they know not to cut that once it starts growing?
Yeah, they will,
They will, they
Okay,
will. There's also trees planted over there now too, so
yes.
it'll
I
change.
think they got the message.
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah. So, okay, well,
Thank you.
I make a motion, we approve the list of bills as presented.
I second it. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you. Ms. Ken, MS4 discussion.
Yeah, just a report on the riparian buffer down along Calico Creek behind the, near the Triple G area, near where the dam is. This weekend, we, with a little bit of assistance from the road crew and assistance from volunteers from the High School Honor Society, put in somewhere around 85 trees and shrubs that will be allowed to establish a riparian buffer in that area, so that it will eventually transition from mowed lawn to trees that basically don't require any maintenance. So it's good for the environment to provide more filtering of the runoff from that area, but it also will save quite a bit of money in not having to mow it.
How big a caliper were those trees? Are they rather small or?
Most of them were in pots about that size. The stems ranged from maybe ½ inch to 1 inch, on the order of maybe 4 feet tall, typically. So they're decent size.
No ash trees, I presume.
No ash trees. We did end up with 3 more holes than we had trees to put in them. And I was able to find along the stream bank there 3 sycamore tree seedlings that were moved into the holes where they'll hopefully do better than they were under the brush.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Can I
you.
ask you a question?
Yes.
Whose property is that where the Biden sign is?
Oh.
Where it says Biden, humility, humbleness, or something? I'm not saying anything else.
West Church Street heading into Denver, but as you're leaving Denver, you see it.
Yes. That's not part of our park?
It's private property, no, it's not our park. so-
Okay, all right, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it is private property.
Okay, thank you.
Used to be the Cunningham property, wasn't it, years and years ago? I think it was Dave Cunningham owned
I
that.
think you're right.
Cunningham,
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not sure.
I don't know the people on the phone.
Right.
Okay, new business. We will consider approving the Everett Rec Center to manage the pool when we get the agreement. We're still waiting for that agreement. I'd like to appoint Jeff Mitchell as our township liaison person to emergency services organizations.
Yeah, so we're just not in the public doing that.
Yeah, we just announced that for the public to know that. Also, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the fire company flyer be printed as soon as we get the information and the manager approves it. I'll make that motion.
What fire company was?
The flyer, that we discussed it a couple meetings ago, it's Smokestack or Stevens, maybe a 1-page flyer. Each of them have a page Chad did something already, and Scott had something sent in, waiting for,
Yeah, but I thought we hadn't finalized on that because we have 6 fire companies operating in these.
I was just gonna do the township ones right now,
But how are we gonna handle the residents where, we have a large number of residents where Adamstown is doing fundraising in East Cocalico? How are you gonna handle that?
I was thinking we're responsible for the 3 fire companies in our township.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Completely agree and
Yeah,
understand. The question that I have is, you have homeowners that have been donating to fire companies.
Yeah,
Now they're gonna get something in the mail that is not the fire company they're donating to.
Maybe a short disclaimer there, a couple sentences
we could put a couple sentences of
stating that.
stating that the other fire companies, what is it? Joint, what's the word terminology, can't think about it.
Mutual aid.
Mutual aid. We could recognize the other.
And what RC's getting to though is not mutual aid, they are the primary response. That would be Denver, Adamstown, and Reinholds.
Those are-
Reinholds has a big section of east.
Those are first 2 companies.
That is
right?
correct. They are not mutual aid, they are primary.
Yeah, so we're gonna, that was why I mentioned that a couple meetings ago, is what kind of confusion are we gonna create with our homeowners?
Well, I think we have to promote our own first before we do ones in other municipalities, but I would say a trial and error basis here would be in order. Maybe at some point, if that confusion arises, well, then we can address it in a different way. I understand what
I can see what you're saying too,
Because we have whole developments that are being,
but. Yeah, I know.
absolutely.
that believe there's a fire company out there that is not an East Cocalico fire company.
Doug?
Let me ask you a question. Why, and I understand the thought process behind it, but the only newspaper I get is the Freedom, that's the shopping. And there's ads, I know Chad, you guys were in it just the other week. I think if you do what RC is suggesting, is let the newspaper take care of it, because you're gonna create a lot of animosity. And, you know, there's already enough upheaval going on. You don't need to throw fuel in the fires. I'd let it ride. That's just me talking. I'm not part of the board, but I think you need to think through it. I think what RC's saying is correct, because there are a lot of those extenuating circumstances where people contribute to another fire company. They're gonna say, hey, what's going on? How come you don't talk about mine? You're gonna create some animosity, and I don't think you need it. I just don't. I think you ought to let the newspaper is doing a nice job of highlighting, spotlighting these individual fire companies on a regular basis. And you can mention, you know, that they're all serving us, but I think you'd be making a mistake to single out 3 out of the 6. I really do. Opinion, my opinion.
Considering we have 2 chiefs in the room.
I actually responded back when it came out weeks ago that I suggested that it be more than, and have included all the other fire companies and the other ambulance group that runs in the township be part of that as well. Huh? Oh, sorry. But, you know, to have all the fire companies including that, plus Reinhold's EMS. That way, and a map in there where the fire companies first do are. Because there's people who actually live in our first do that, you know, we had people who joined other fire companies because they didn't know that we were their fire company, just because the way things are. So if you're going to do that, include all 6 of them, put a map in there that says this is, if you live in this area, this is your fire, you know, and the EMS the same way. That way it's all out there to make it, you know, it would help with the confusion, because there's, you know, people look at their addresses, you know, people in our area have Denver addresses and Reinhold addresses, and that's who they contribute to, even though we're going to their houses where, you know, we're their first food company, they just don't know that.
You've got people living down in Highland, Schwartzville that have a Denver address, Schwartzville, and they got a Parks County phone number. It's like, where do I live? So,
Right.
you know,
And we have Adamstown Fire Company.
right,
In Rose
that's
Hill.
why, I
Yeah,
think
Rose-
all of them need to be recognized. I think you just create
And
a
we have
can
the
of worms.
5-Point ambulance.
No, and that's exactly what I'm referring to, is if you look at Rose Hill, that's all Adamstown.
Yep.
That's their first new
Yes,
running area, and
absolutely.
that's one of their primary
Can you
fundraisers.
get a map of the run-through area?
Yeah, that can come from county, we can
Yeah,
get.
you can request that from county.
And we can contact all of them and recognize all of them.
But Adamstown sends us fundraiser things all the time.
This
It's not
this
anything
really
new.
wasn't for a fundraiser, this was brought about that all the fire companies are falling short this year because of COVID. And it was just to educate the public on the fire company and the costs. Like you said, to outfit one guy is thousands and thousands of dollars, and the average resident doesn't know that.
But-
And that's what, this is how this newsletter came about, that we would just give the fire companies the opportunity to talk a little bit about themselves and what their costs are, so residents know that, listen, when your fire company does come around knocking on your door, now you know why.
But I also had that email about the Relief Association, because the fire company does not buy the gear for that individual, the radio, the pager, that comes from the Relief Association, which is a totally separate animal.
Well, yeah.
So when you say, because you put in there, this is what it costs for a firefighter, and somebody writes a check to Smoketown Fire Company, that I'm gonna outfit 3 firefighters for you, that's money truly that doesn't come out of Smoketown's pocket. So that's why I think there also needs to be a page, what about the Relief Association, where that money comes from and what that money's for too, just to help people along. I mean, I just,
Well, no, the difficulty is, we have 6 companies running first due in East Cocalico. And if we pick and choose 3 of the 6, we are potentially creating mass confusion. So we should let, for right now, I saw the article they did with Stevens in the shopping news. That was extremely well done. They're already doing it in their hometown heroes section, including, I think, the Lancaster paper also.
I would assume they're hitting all them papers. You guys are covered by the shopping news. They're hitting everybody, the fire departments that they have in their coverage area. So I'd assume they would catch all, and I didn't ask what areas they cover, but that's the departments they're covering specifically.
Well, there's a merchandiser in there.
Okay. I'll tell you my 2 cents on that since you had asked. I can see both sides of that ball. I guess the decision you guys have to decide is you guys fund 3 of them departments. And that's, I think, where this concept had come from, is you wanted to promote what you fund, because each municipality funds who's housed in their specific township, whereas the other parties are outside of that. And I guess that's the argument you guys will have to figure out amongst yourselves, where you want to draw that line. I see both sides of that, because there will be confusion dealing with the general public exactly because of that. There's developments and sections of this township that are ran by other organizations that you see on a regular basis. They get their mailings, their fund drives, they support their. So I can see both sides of that ball, and that's why you will have to figure out what you want to do, because either way, we're gonna hear it, one way or the other.
So if we had a mailing list of which home gets which solicitation for a fire company,
That is way too hard.
That's expensive.
understood, I
Yeah.
completely agree. But that's the
I mean,
That's the
if you're looking for a quick, easy out, your thing is you finance 3 of them, that's what you're going after. If you want to educate the municipality as a whole, then you're gonna have to spend a lot more time and do a lot more research.
The whole point was that, to give the fire companies the opportunities to tell what their struggles are to the residents and educate the residents on their true struggles, and that's all that was intended to be.
Yeah. But it got more complicated. I'll make a motion, we table it for now.
Well, I think that could be part of the education process, is showing the run area in the township, where these other companies are
Why don't you put it on the
Yeah,
website?
yeah. I think it got more complicated than.
It can be very complicated, the emergency services can be, I mean, that's just.
But my feeling was, I like to give the citizens of the township a little information of what they're getting for nothing.
yeah.
And then I wasn't trying to step on Reinhold or Adams Town or anybody else's toes, because I,
But you're, to be honest, you know, you guys might not be the ones who get the backlash from it. And that's the bad part, you know, it's gonna end up.
see, I didn't want, yeah, we didn't think about the,
It's,
the back.
you know, and I know, because the three of them surround Smokestown, so, you know, and one of them is kind of a little, you know, they're not as acceptable to some stuff that I may hear some feedback to it, that's my only concern with that is, you know, it's.
We know our fire company when they come around on December 24th with the Santa Cruz. That's what we know, that's what we know.
Okay, well, we'll table it for now. Thank you, Chad. We'll move on. Manager's report.
Alan, if I might, what's this, I wanted to ask you, another new business. Everett Rec Center, you gonna,
They're doing this lifeguards.
the life, not, you says pool management though, doesn't it? Or
Yeah, for the lifeguards, it'd be all the guards. The only thing since I'm certified for the chemicals, I'll be overseeing the chemicals, but the Everett Rec Center is gonna be doing all the guards and the front desk and stuff like that now.
So we're gonna look at a proposal from them on management of the pool itself,
Except for the chemical guards.
And they'll hire
See
the
what-
guards.
they'll hire the
and they'll pay
lifeguards.
to see what that looks like.
Schedule the guards.
Well, do they not manage the Denver pool now?
Yes, and the Adamstown one too.
Okay, all right.
And it's become more and more difficult to get lifeguards. Last summer was 2 days I couldn't open because I couldn't get guards. And see, they'll have a bigger pool.
Right, no, I understand that part of
Yeah,
it.
it's,
Okay, so you're just getting a proposal, you're not signing this thing or anything?
no,
yet.
no,
You're
we
gonna
get a
discuss it.
contract yet.
Okay.
We'll get a proposal.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome, no problem. Okay, Penny?
So not a whole lot to report, one thing, you know, we've been applying for the CARES Act, and we submitted our first round, and now our second round, they originally, we were supposed to get 41,000 in total, well, they just upped that. We have submitted for that total 41,000, but now that number has gone up to 137,000 that the county is now awarding, so we will be submitting additional invoices to get that money, so, and hope to get that before the end of the year. So that was that, and then system daily operations, but we did, back in October 23rd, Denver Borough asked the township for a letter of support. They have applied to PennDOT multimodal grant application for $3 million for their Washington Street Extension Project. And what that will do is extend Washington Street into the borough, across the East Penn railroad tracks, and ultimately connecting the new Weaver Road Bridge and the Weaver Road. So they did ask the township for a letter of support for that. So on the board's authorization, I did do that. So I just want to get that in the minutes on record. So it would be a motion to formally recognize that on October 23rd, the township manager submitted a letter of support to PennDOT's Office of Multimodal Transportation, aiding Denver Borough in their grant efforts to expand the Washington Street extension.
I'll make that motion. I will second it. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you.
That's all I can do.
Okay. Public comment. No agenda items.
Chad Weaver. Question, you had said here in passing, when I didn't quite catch it, Jeff is now appointed as the township liaison supervisor.
Liaison to the fire and EMS.
Why or how'd that come about? What changed from RC to him?
My turn. It was his turn.
Is that how that works? So each year?
He volunteered. He volunteered for this year. Next.
Okay.
Okay. Any other public comment? Okay, I'm looking for a motion. Our next meeting will be 19th, Smokestown Fair Hall.
Please don't park in the grass, for the 24th stuff on Saturday, on Tuesday. And we got a lot
And
of,
they were down in the grass.
and we got a lot of backlash for that. But we have no control over having that as an employee place, so.
I know.
Yes, and we couldn't come down and do anything because we're not allowed within 100 feet of bowling field.
Really? But, yeah, we were there giving, giving information out, selling, and all of a sudden I get a phone call, and I look out in the grass, and I'm like, oh boy. And lucky enough, the farmer up the street came down, and he just started pulling cars out.
I don't understand why they were down in the hollow there.
I think, didn't they try to get out that way?
No, they were actually going in the park.
They were-
And it's, but you had to drop off the road, because that's where our, that's our leach field basically, so it's wet there a lot, so more power to them. We have a business, one of their bosses were stuck in there, and that business said that they will take care of fixing the water for us, hopefully that works.
Chief, why aren't you allowed?
Yeah.
That's state law.
What's the grounds fee?
So
Intimidation.
many police officers aren't there intimidating anyone.
Intimidation.
Yep.
But the constables were there.
They're allowed, they're now police.
They were court there this year.
Yes.
Yeah, and then somebody fussed about a constable will be in there, or somebody did.
We had two constables. We had the one from Adamstown, the one from East Cocalico.
I think they set it up, it was a preemptive just in case any issues. That's why it was a little different this year. Everything went on fine.
Everything's different this year.
Okay, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you.